Today is going to be all about infants. I've got 5 tips for you of ways you can make your experience better, so stick around. Hey guys, welcome again to Happily Ever After 4 channel. Infants themselves, I believe, are actually a lot easier to bring into the park than toddlers. That 0 to like 18 months, I think, is like your prime time. They're much more easy to have than when they want to be active and running around all the time, but they don't quite have the speed and mobility of a young child. So number 1, start early. Most young kids, especially infants, are awake in the morning. That's when they have the most energy, so take advantage of that. Get up in the morning, get ready to go, try and make for park opening. If you're there for park opening, then chances are you're going to be able to get to some of those rides that have really long lines later. In our experience, pretty much when park opens, there's a beeline for Fantasyland, and if you're in Disneyland, you're going to have a long line for Peter Pan no matter what you do. But other than that, if you get there early, you'll be able to hit some of those early rides, especially with extra magic hours. If you ever have that opportunity, take advantage of that. We've done extra magic hours at park opening and Disney World, and we've been able to hit every single ride there in Fantasyland, even the mine train, within an hour. So take advantage of them being awake and having that much energy in the morning, and start your day early. Tip number 2 is mobility. Obviously, if you've got an infant, you're going to be bringing a stroller. Make sure that you have the right equipment, that your stroller is one that glides smooth, that you're comfortable with, probably one that you've used before so you know it works for you, and bring a baby carrier to help you carry the baby when you don't have the stroller. Strollers aren't allowed in any line rides except for the safari. You're going to be holding your baby for the entirety of that, and you know, even if it's a 5, 6, 7-pound baby, Cal was 5 pounds when he was born, it gets heavy after a while. So bring a baby carrier. That will help make it so that you can still have mobility, but also keep in mind that you're going to be extra sweaty wearing it. So make sure it's a baby carrier that you're comfortable with. There's tons of different ones out there. It really just depends on personal preference. Somebody gave us one at a shower and it ended up working really great, and in fact, we only ever used it in the parks, and it did what it needed to do. But make sure you have a way to make it so that you can have your little one with you and not feel like, oh my goodness, my arms are tired, I don't want to be around here anymore. Tip number 3, bring extra of everything. Kids are predictable and unpredictable at the same time. Before we would take ours, we were like, okay, so we're going to use X amount of diapers during the day. That's a typical thing. We usually feed them X amount of food, and so we have that prepared. But there's always going to be those days when they eat extra or less, or they need more diapers and things like that. So always bring extra than what you think you're going to need. Extra blankets for in the evenings if you want to wait for shows and things, or if it gets extra cold and you didn't realize it. Extra pacifiers, you're probably going to lose 1 or 2. That's happened to us even when they have the clip-ons. Babies have a way of just doing stuff that you just can't even like understand why. So just bring extra of everything. And then also baby center. Baby center. That is going to be your saving grace. Disney has baby centers in every single park. They are amazing. They have just about everything that you could ever need, and they have it there for purchase. In the past when we've been, it's been cash only, so make sure you bring cash. That might have changed now with COVID and changed policies and things, but be prepared for all of the different options that could happen. But they've got baby food, formula, they have nursing stations, they have pumping stations, they have high chairs, they have microwaves to warm up food, they have changing tables, they have toddler restrooms, they have every single thing that you can think of. Pull-ups, diapers in every single size. If you run out of everything, they have it. They're there to help you. And no matter where you are in the park, if you need something, cast members are there to help you in any way that they can. Disney's on your side. They want you to have a great time. So reach out if you need their help. Tip number 4, follow your baby's schedule. Every family, every infant is going to have a routine. If they eat at a certain time, then stop and feed them at a certain time. If they nap at a certain time, let them do that. Let them guide your day so that you are able to have a good experience. Oftentimes when we go on vacation, we want to do it the way we want to do it. And I think that's something where a lot of people tend to have some challenges because they want a vacation and have the experience that they want to have, and the people that they're with have a different vacation in mind, and sometimes it doesn't jive. That can happen with young kids too. So follow the normal everyday schedule that you have. Eat when you normally eat, rest when you normally rest, and that way things stay normal for them, normal for you, and then you have the bonus of Disney and you're in the parks and it's great. But if you do something like that, then you're more likely to be able to last longer in the park without having to leave because people are cranky, people are tired, people are fed up with each other. If you're there longer, that means you're going to be able to experience fireworks, you're going to be able to experience those end of the evening shows and then magic that you get after dark in the parks. Something that we like to do, especially when the kids were really young, is during those times you know they're going to nap, or when you know that they're tired and they need that, is we put them in the stroller and we walk around and we make our way to air-conditioned places or heated places, depending on the time of year that you're going. So that's usually when we go, okay, it's nap time, let's put you in the strollers and we're going to go through all of the stores. And so that's a chance, you're moving around and it gets that movement. Oftentimes that helps them, they fall asleep. And most kids, obviously you know yours best, but most kids, if they're falling asleep with lots of noise around them, then they're gonna stay asleep. And so that usually will give you a couple hours when they're resting and you're resting, whether you're cooling off in stores, getting a treat, just sitting and enjoying the atmosphere, or having the time with you and your other guests to be able to have that adult component to your vacation. But doing something like that, helping them have naps and things like that, is also going to make your experience better. It adheres to what their schedule is most like. You're helping them. They're going to be happier, not so cranky. Last tip for today, number 5, plan for weather. I know it sounds kind of dumb. You think, of course I'm going to plan for weather. That's what I always do. But take it to the next level. If it's going to be really hot, then make sure you have tons of water. Make sure you stay hydrated. Your little one's not going to be able to tell you when they're thirsty. Obviously, if you feel thirsty, you take a drink and you don't think about it. Make sure that they stay hydrated because they're going to sweat. You're going to sweat, especially if you're nursing. Make sure you're drinking even more water so that you can be able to keep producing for your little one as well. Also, if you're at Disney World, it rains a lot. Almost every day in certain times of the year. And so something that we like to do is we got stroller covers specifically for our style of stroller. And when it's cloudy and things and we have to park our stroller, we just put those covers over them just in case. The last thing you want to do is come out of a ride or a building or eating somewhere and it's drenched. All of your stuff is drenched because all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a rainstorm came. Or if you're in California in the winter, Christmas time, wonderful time to be at Disneyland, but it rains a lot. So make sure you have a stroller cover. Sunscreen, their poor skin has just had no sun. And so they just burn, especially mine, I'm so fair. So make sure you have sunscreen. And then if they can't have sunscreen, what we did is we got really thin cotton or like muslin blankets and just kind of draped it over their stroller or over their head when they're in the baby carrier, able to get breeze through so that it's not making them more hot, but it's protecting them from the sun because it can be brutal. Most rides are going to have some sort of sun coverage during part of the queue, but if you're there at a busy time, an example, It's a Small World, great ride, we love it. The line actually goes pretty fast, but there's some long stretches when you're kind of just baking in the sun, and so you want to be able to prepare for that so that you're not going to get sunburned, your little one's not going to get sunburned, and then you can still be able to have a good time. Infants can totally be a part of your experience. John and I have never been to a park without our kids. It's just something that we've always done. If we're gonna go, then we're gonna go as a family. And so we've had lots of experiences. Some are good, some are bad. Hopefully these tips help you. They are what has helped us get through a lot of unique experiences so that we've been able to have a good time. If you have a trip planned with your little one and you're a little nervous, you have some questions, concerns, please reach out to us. We're more than willing to give you some of our opinions, some more of our tips and tricks of things that we've learned. Obviously, there's a lot more to your experience than what we talked about today. Having your little one with you definitely brings much more magic to your experience. Give us a like, subscribe to have more information and be able to get updates on when we post more content. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.